Marcello.
And I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up in today's show, is your computer ready for HDTV? We're going to show you what you need. We're actually going to show you some high-definition television.
All right. And, boy, we're going to show you why we hope we're not broadcast over HDTV anytime soon.
You don't want to see this up close, do you?
No.
No, you don't.
Every pore on your face, every makeup's not going to hide.
Bad idea.
HDTV, it's going to end it all. Also, free up some hard drive space, folks, because it's time for this week's Talk Download.
And later, the Internet, email, and basic organizational tools. Oh, and Linux, too.
And Linux.
Sumi Das has a report on Intel's new Internet appliance on today's Fresh Gear.
All right. Today in the chat room, Günter Grass.
Günter Grass, the
Günter
famous
Grass.
German author.
Winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature last year.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
He wrote the Tin Drum, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yeah.
And he said that, of course, what with all these computers everywhere, you know.
He said it just like that.
Yes, just exactly like that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd be thrilled with my imitation of him as well.
He has an umlaut.
He says he's got an umlaut, therefore he is superior.
Not the Nobel Prize, it's the umlaut that it
It's the umlaut that makes me an ubermensch. Are your fingers faster than your brain is our question, and the reason is that he says now that all of us fancy schmancy newfangled people are using computers to write books and so forth, they're not as carefully crafted. He said today's authors don't have to face that dreaded thing, the blank white page.
That's true.
He sits and stares at the page.
Screen.
Right. And then he's got to make it dirty. He has to dirty up the page with his blood, with his pen, with his ink. And that basically he says that if someone sends him a manuscript, he can tell in the first 10 pages if it was written on a computer.
I might believe that. I might actually believe that. Certainly my fingers are faster than my brain when it comes to email, and I think most of us would agree to that. If you've gotten any one of a dozen chain mails that are circulating right now, stupid things like Bill Gates is going to pay you $1,000 to test his software, like anybody intelligent would believe that.
No, we don't want to hear about that.
And yet, how many of you have passed that along? It's because your fingers are faster than your brain. It's so easy to press forward to send this to my entire mailing list.
How many times do you get really lame email that if somebody had just sat down, maybe thought about it, used the spell check, kind of read it out loud to themselves to find out if all the words were in the sentence that needed to be there? That doesn't happen very often.
No, and I'll grant you, I am as guilty as anybody. I've done this many times. I've sent out emails that I bitterly regret to my own mailing list. I've sent out emails with the other day I sent out an email with a URL, a typo in the URL. It was just wrong.
Really?
Plain wrong. If I'd checked it once, it would have worked.
I try. I'm very worried about that. When I write and I send emails, I read them very carefully, and I make sure that I'm sending them to the right person.
Also good.
So, you can see what we think. Sometimes my fingers are faster than my brain. We want to know what you think. Take the screensavers.com. Go there, and while you're there, click on Talkback, of course, and tell us about all those embarrassing times, perhaps, that you've sent an email you didn't mean to send. Give us a call, too, on the telephone, 888-989-7879, or chat with us, chat.zdnet.com. We are going to be in the screensavers room. That's where we're going to be, but, of course, if you have a netcam, you want to ask your question on the air, be on television, click on the Netcam Cineplex. An illustrious group in there waiting for you today. Who's in there today? Let's take a look. Just another day in the office says, oh, look, it's Kevin and Shannon. Hard at work. Get your finger out of your nose. Hey. This is a family show. That would be their fingers flying faster than their brains. You see? Flying right into their brains. Right up the nose. That's good to go. High-quality television, folks. Earn yourself a magnet as seen on our fridge. But soon to be seen on yours. That's a cute picture. That's that one right there. What is this picture? Oh, it's me and Marcus and Adriana. I don't know where we are. Uh-oh. Let's just pass on now and talk about some news, La Puerta. There's some news I want you to talk about. Yeah, in fact, it happened yesterday. Yahoo was brought to its knees by what they call a hacker attack. It's really not exactly an accurate description. Today, both Buy.com and eBay also buy something really technically called denial of service attack. It's an attack that ties up a system in such a way that they can no longer provide their service. So if you tried to log into Yahoo around midday yesterday, you wouldn't have been able to. I think eBay, at last check, was still down. Buy.com was down earlier this afternoon, all by these same kinds of denial of service attacks. And we still don't know who's doing it, but we do know a little bit about how they're doing it. I thought maybe we could show you a little bit about what's going on. That's an important question, because one of the first things someone's going to ask you is, how could one script kid take down all of Yahoo? Well, it's unlikely that it's one person. It could be one person. It's much more likely it's a coordinated team of hackers who are going at the mark all at the same time doing this. They're probably running
as you say, scripts, which are fairly sophisticated, which are overloading these servers. Now, the thing that's important, and Yahoo's pointed this out, but I want to point it out too, it doesn't mean they've broken into any computers. There's no breaking in going in here.
They just shut down Yahoo.
They shut them down by overwhelming them. In effect, if you're Yahoo and I want to bring you to your knees, what do? I say, search for Kate, search for Kate, search for Kate, search for Kate. So many times, so fast that I can't serve anybody else. I'm not even going to crash necessarily. These systems aren't necessarily crashing. They're merely busy doing other stuff. Now, let me show you a couple of things. On a normal script, you will have, and I'll show you a pretty common CGI script, you will have something at the beginning. Can you see that? Is that big enough for you? This is the key right here, is this paragraph here. You'll see something at the beginning that limits the number, the size and the number of posts to that script. It's a well-known flaw in CGI that you can overwhelm it. You know, when I look at a Yahoo, for instance, let's just go look quickly at the Yahoo webpage, the source code in here. And if we do a search for the form in here, we'll find it. That's the form right at the beginning of Yahoo. Here it is right here. Let me just show you Yahoo's page so you can see what we're looking at. At Yahoo's page, this is the search form right here. And it is simply sending some information to a script. Here it is, form action that's going out. It's sending it to a script, and this is anybody who wants to look at Yahoo can see this, including these script kids. That's in a binary file at yahoo.com, a binary folder at yahoo.com called search. That is a CGI script, a program that gets run when you press the search button.
So they don't have that limit placed on that?
Well, I don't know. All we know is all you need is to write a program that just sends as many searches as possible, much faster than any human can type. It's botting. We've talked about that before. You don't even need to do it from a website. You just need to do it from somewhere with an internet connection. Here's my theory. It's very likely this is what they did. They probably spoofed their IP address.
Surely.
Obviously, Yahoo and any other website that gets one of these can see immediately what IP address is coming from. So you spoof it by going to some other place or by hiding your tracks, by coming from some other internet address.
Taking over an entire ISP's bank of internet addresses.
Could be that. Could be hacking into a number of people's computers. You'll probably need quite a few computers to do this. Yahoo has huge capacity, so you'd have to send, and in fact, I think this is what Yahoo said yesterday, as much as a gigabyte of data a second. Imagine how to do that. All at once, and have to keep sending it so that the Yahoo search program, this CGI script that's running, is just overwhelmed and can't answer anybody else's requests. That's a denial of service attack. It's very easy to do simple denial of services attack, very hard to bring something as big, as powerful, with as much throughput and capability as something like Yahoo, eBay, same thing, Buy.com, same thing. These are big sites. What I think we're seeing is one group that's basically making a demonstration, saying, this is possible. Don't think you're secure just because you're a big site with lots of throughput and simple CGI protections like the one I showed you. So it's probably a challenge. I suspect from one group, but of course we have no evidence to
I have a paranoia question for you. Isn't this also exactly the sort of thing back orifice was created for? Say, for instance, a clever cracker could put back orifice on 200 machines. Could she then tick them off at the same moment to go and send these attacks without the user's knowledge?
It's fairly likely that they somehow were able to commandeer a lot of machines, certainly a lot of IP addresses. One way to do that would be to put a Trojan horse on those machines. I don't know if that's what they did, but you would absolutely need to be able to commandeer a lot of machines, and you wouldn't want it to be your machine. You at the very least would spoof the IP addresses.
So it would be
but you know what? The internet protocols are such that it's very possible to have a program sitting on my machine, send itself out onto the internet, and come in from different places and completely transparently. Now, whether they'll be tracked down or not, I don't know. The FBI has been brought into it, and I suspect that some smart people could probably track this stuff down. So we haven't heard the end of this. We have not seen the last one of these either. It's very difficult to protect against.
Okay, folks, we get it, but you can stop now. We get it. After the break.
Message received.
Message received. We get it. After the break, I hope it's none of you. I hope it's none of you. It's this week's Top Downloads when the Screensavers continues.
It is.
None of you?
Well, no, because the Screensavers.com will be brought to us.
Howdy, folks. Courtesy of the ZDNet Software Library, it's presenting this week's Top Downloads. Number 5, WinZip. You know, the 32-bit version.
The download of the millennium.
That's right. At the number 4 spot, stay connected to the wet net with Stay On Pro. Sounds like a hairspray or adhesive. Third place, dropping down, is Godzilla.
How could that be?
Because in order to make room, holding steady for the runner-up, PaintShop Pro, and just for variety, this week's top download is the NetZip Download Demon.
Yay!
Download any of these programs from the ZDNet software library at hotfiles.com. Folks, when we told you, go out and try a different download demon. It's not it was all about us. It's not because we don't love Gozilla. What do you think?
You and I both use Gozilla.
Yes,
I don't like NetZip that much, the download daemon. There's another one called Get Right that a lot of people love, too. I would say Get Right or Gozilla. NetZip.
But then I don't think they have Get Right on the ZDNet software shareware.
It doesn't. I think because it doesn't work with the ZDNet software shareware library.
That would explain that.
Jeff joins us on the phone from Buffalo, New York. Hello, Jeff.
Hiya, Jeff.
Hi, Kate and Leo.
How's winter in Buffalo today?
Pretty bad.
Yeah. You got snow on the ground?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the part where we don't tell him what a beautiful day it is outside today. So we're not going to tell you that.
It was freezing cold. It was
it was terrible. 60s. It was like 62 degrees this morning.
What can we do for you, Jeff?
I recently got a cable modem.
Cool.
And I want to use it inside of Linux.
Yeah.
I want to know how I would go about setting it up.
Easy as pie.
It's just the network configuration.
Yeah, basically you're on a LAN, so you'll configure it the same way you would configure a LAN. Do you know if your cable modem uses DHCP or do you have a static IP address?
Static IP address.
Oh, even easier.
Easy as pie.
All right, cool.
The program you want, are you running a Red Hat Linux or do you even know?
I use Caldera OpenLinux.
Okay, this may not be available in Caldera. I don't think they use Linux Conf, but it'll be similar to this. There'll be a utility. I played with Caldera, and by the way, I love it. It's a very nice install. The new Caldera is great. But Red Hat variants use something called Linux Conf, which Red Hat wrote to make it easier to configure Linux.
It is.
It is really great. You're going to click on the networking tab. You'll have something analogous to this, okay, Jeff? So don't worry about it too much. I'm going to click on basic host information, okay, and that brings up this window. I go to the adapter, and here is everything you need. I asked if you have a static IP or address or DHCP. If you had DHCP, it'd be even easier. You just click the DHCP button, and you're done.
Because it does the auto.
It does the auto config. Otherwise, you'll have to enter in your IP address, your net mask. All of this should be given to you by your cable modem people. You'll tell it what NIC you're using.
Which would, obviously.
If there's one, it'll be Ethernet 0, ETH 0. If you have more than one, you could choose another one, but it's almost always Ether 0. Here's where you tell it what NIC you've got. We have a 3COM 3C509 in there.
So you have to hope
it's on that list. Look how long the list is. Remember we had a caller the other day who was asking us about an Ethernet Express from Intel? It's on there. Look how long this list is. There's
very long.
Pretty much every card you could get. Once you accept that, you'll go in and you'll change your DNS settings. You put those in here, your search domain and so forth. And you put your router in here if you have one.
That is so easy.
And then basically you're done. You'll quit. And another nice thing about Linux, once you quit this, it says you've made some changes. Do you want to activate the changes?
You don't have to reboot.
You say activate the changes, and you should be on the net then.
That's
Boom.
so
That's
nice.
it. So now, because you're using Caldera, you don't have Linux Conf. You have something similar. So you'll want to look at your network's configuration utility. But you understand what I'm saying now, Jeff. You basically enter the IP address, the DNS address, the net mask.
And tell it what NIC it's using.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
It's very simple.
One more thing.
Sure.
Can I have an autographed picture?
Oh, no.
No.
Yes, of course you can. Hang on the line.
Okay, thanks.
We'll get your address.
For calling it. Up next, we have more answers to your toughest computing problems when the Screensavers continues. Screensavers.com, you know what that is, don't you?
What's that?
Well, it's the best place for more information about what's on this here show is what it is. Now, whether you're building your own ultimate gaming machine or you're listening to looking for a listing of the best websites ever, just click on Show and Tell and all the details and the links. It's all there. Screensavers.com. And oh man, what was I thinking? Those lime green shoes? What was I thinking?
Oh, that picture. I was wondering. I don't see you're not wearing lime green shoes. Okay.
There's a machine starting up over there.
What,
you
that
heard
sound?
that little...
I thought it was my brain starting. James
that was your shirt singing from it.
James joins us on the ZDTV 3COM NetCam network from Napa, California. Hello, James.
Hello, James.
This is our Steer It Up boy, right? Hello, James.
James. Yo, James. James, if you're not there, we can
Steer it up, little darling. Steer it up. See? This is the kid who plays reggae, right?
Yes, and I guessed Steer It Up in 3 notes.
Yeah, was it a guitar?
Yeah, he was playing it on the guitar.
Let's see one more time if we can get him. James? James, this is Bob Marley, man. Come on to talk to me.
Come on, we want to help you, man. Make you feel irie with your computer.
Okay, man. Forget about him. You're going back to Jamaica.
I want to fix your computer, man.
All right, so should we just move on? Oh, we have his question.
All right. He wants to buy a hard drive, and he wants to know what kind of hard drive he should get.
Big one.
A big, big, fast one.
It kind of depends on what computer capabilities you have, obviously.
Well, James, now, from what I recall, has a pretty smoking rig.
All right, so he's got top
a decent,
line.
yeah.
Well, if you have a hard machine that can handle a fast hard drive, then I would certainly. He probably doesn't have the latest, which is the UDMA66.
Right. So
now those UDMA66 drives will work on the old interface. So if you
why
think,
do that?
well, because if you think you're going to get a new computer down the road,
then you can move your hard drive over.
Yeah, all the new computers starting probably tomorrow will have UDMA66 interfaces. It really is faster. So even if you're using a slower, older computer and you want to have a hard drive that you're going to bring with you to your next computer, UDMA66.
7200 RPM.
Yeah, otherwise I'd say UDMA 33 is fine. That's pretty much all you're going to find. And yeah, 7200 RPM. You'd want to get one with a fast access time, high aerial density. You know what I like, and I've always recommended, is the IBM 14GXP.
Oh, yeah.
14 gigabytes. It's down to about $150 now.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's $1 a gigabyte.
Good,
or
that'll
$10
go in my
a gigabyte,
machine.
whatever it is. That's an amazing. $10 a gig. Come on.
Come on.
So I would say that's a good choice. Maxtor is great. I have Western Digital drives at home.
And those are all in ATA 66 and SCSI form factors, depending on what he's got. Yes.
I think they all make SCSI, but mostly I would say go with IDE unless he wants to put SCSI in there. I would stay with IDE, which is UDMA 33 or 66. We did put SCSI in here where you put cheetahs, the Seagate cheetahs. Those are probably more than any individual should spend on a hard drive.
Yeah, come on.
This is the ultimate. I think you probably don't need SCSI unless you're doing a lot of heavy-duty video editing or something of this sort. So probably for most people, an IDE drive is fine. 7200 RPM makes a big difference. If you can get the UDMA 66, go ahead and do that.
With the higher density?
It will work on older controllers.
Anything we want to avoid? Can we think of any brand names that might be iffy? When I was in IT, we used to not like Seagate hard drives very much.
I know, and you know what? Seagate has totally reinvented itself, and I have no problem with Seagate anymore. And that was true. I would say nowadays, hard drive technology is so well established, so well known. I can't think of. You're right. I mean, there were some companies, I won't name names, who I would say, stay away from. Today, I wouldn't say that anymore. Quantum, Maxtor, Seagate, Western Digital, IBM, all great. I really like the IBMs.
All right.
I would say if you were going to put my feet to the fire and say pick two, I'd say IBM and Maxtor.
Those would be good calls.
Okay.
So you can go to Price Watch or whatnot, put in how much he wants to pay, pull them down, and then just kind of base it on how much money he wants to spend.
Yeah.
All right.
14 gigs for $150.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just writing that down for the specs on my computer, folks. Just write that
14 GXP. It's good. Well, and that's another thing. I think what we want to do on your computer, and we haven't talked about this, so I want to spring this on you. I like getting two smaller drives rather than one larger.
I thought about that. I was going to get an 8 gig and a 5 gig. Something like that.
Yeah, for mirroring.
Windows and data on one, Linux and BIOS on the other.
It makes it more flexible, plus it gives you the opportunity to have images on another drive. You can't image your drive to the same drive.
Right. And
you
if I've got
a second drive.
18 partitions on my 13 gig drive, I'm probably better off having it broken into chunks. So maybe consider that too.
210s instead of 120 is a much better way to go.
I would agree with that.
That's
safer too.
That's pretty much a core dump of everything we know about hard drives.
I think so.
The whole thing right there.
That's all of it.
Don't start flecking for the call, James.
So thanks, James. Steer it up.
Don't stop flipping. Don't start flipping. Don't do anything. Just stay here. Still to come on this very show. Oh, that was good, kid. How to tune HDTV on your PC. Also, you got computer problems, we got computer solutions. Plus a look at an internet appliance from Intel that runs Linux. All that and more as the Screensavers rolls on. Welcome back to the Screensavers. Leo Laporte here.
Kate Patello, right here.
Today in the chat room, are your fingers faster than your brain? If you've ever received an email that made no sense, then you know at least one person's fingers are faster than their brain.
Boy, we knew all the time.
Have you ever sent an email that made no sense? I have.
I haven't.
No?
No, because my fingers may fly faster than my brain.
You have the fastest fingers in the world.
I do type pretty fast. But I'm really pardon the phrase, the Freudian phrase, I'm anal retentive about double, triple checking everything before I send it.
You're very careful, yeah.
I'm very, very careful. I don't want poor grammar, poor spelling. I'm very concerned about it.
So you make a very important point. It's not how fast you type it, it's how fast you hit the send key.
Yes, indeed. And I suffer over things when I write, though, even if I'm typing on the computer. But that's me.
So let us know. Are your fingers faster than your brain?
Take the web poll, screensavers.com, and while you're there, click on Talkback and tell us about times that maybe you've sent emails you didn't mean to send. Or sent them
There'll
to the
be some
wrong
great
person.
stories there.
Oh, I did do that once. I sent one to the wrong person.
Oh, I do that all the time.
So that was really embarrassing. And it was one complaining about you, and it was
yeah, and I got it, and it was a bummer.
See?
Chat.zdnet.com if you want to chat with us. Scott joins us in this. She didn't complain.
I didn't complain.
Scott joins us on the
email. I do it on the show.
That's right. She doesn't have to do it in email. She just slugs me. Scott, welcome. Manhattan. Hey, you doing?
Hi, Scott.
Hello?
Hey!
You're on,
Look at that. That's a great netcam picture.
Thanks. 56K.
Yeah, that's pretty good for 56K. That's amazing.
Don't wiggle around too much. You're going to get big blurry face, Scott.
How do you get us in Manhattan?
I have a satellite.
Ah.
DirecTV?
Yep.
Channel 2.
great.
Oh, no, we're on
354.
354.
Computers and more.
I forgot.
What can we do for you, Scott?
I just wanted to know what program is best to compress video files.
Well, you're compressing a video right now, right? You know that there's no way uncompressed video you're going to be able to work with it. It's just too darn big.
Your camera actually does active compression while you're working.
Uncompressed video is gigabytes a minute.
Yes.
So you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to compress it no matter what. So what do you want? The answer to your question, by the way, depends on what you're using it for. What do you want to do with this video?
Well, I was taking video with my netcam.
Yeah.
And it loads at about a gig a second.
Yeah.
And that's a megasecond.
That's a little better. All right.
And it's pretty big. And
what program are you using to capture it?
It's the one that came with the 3Com netcam.
Do you have a Home Connect? The
big picture.
I can't remember the name of the software that they use, but they have I think it's called Home Connect.
Yeah,
I think we have it, in fact.
Do we have it?
Oh, we did. Maybe we don't now.
We might have taken it because we got a Home Connect on here.
I think it's gone.
Well, anyway, did they give you? I'm not familiar with the software. Did they give you a choice of codecs?
No, that's. I tried to, and for some reason I wasn't able to.
Okay.
I looked through all the options, and there's no option to change the codec.
There are a lot of different video capture programs out there. Some commercial. There's even a free one on Hot Files. I'll put a link to that in our email that we sent out after the show. It was a free file of the day about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And it allows you to do different codecs. Any good program is going to give you a choice of codecs. And what codec you choose depends a lot on what you want to do. Of course, the smaller the file, the worse the quality.
Sure.
That's why V-mails, which have to be sent over email and can only be a few hundred kilobytes, are really usually small picture and not great quality. Whereas if you're willing to store it on your hard drive and you want to get full screen playback, you might want to use a codec that's better at that. The best codec out there, codec is compressor decompressor for video, isn't even available on the PC. It's only available on Macintoshes. It's called Sorensen. And it is by far the best codec for video. It's what professionals use. It's like what happened is Apple licensed it for QuickTime, and they prohibited any Windows for using it. Smart move.
Smart Mac.
Probably the best compression codec, and I believe it's the one that you're using right now, is Indio. That's the best one for Windows. It's an Intel codec. All Windows PCs have it, but there are different Indios. The way to see what codecs are installed on your machine are go to the Multimedia Control Panel and click on Devices, which is kind of illogical since there is a video tab, but actually what you want to do is look at Devices and Video Compression Codecs. You'll see you have Cinepack, then you have Indio R31, R32, Indio Video 504. You see you have 3 different ones. And then there's others. Indio's the best, and I would just play with the different ones till you see what gives you the best results.
How would I set those in my
Well, that program won't do it. So what you're going to have to do is find a program that will. I'm going to put on the show notes a free program that will let you choose what codec. Okay.
Video has one that'll.
Yeah, there are a lot of them out there. You know, the truth is, if you are going to be doing a lot of capture and you want to do video editing, maybe you want to make something for the Cam Film Fest, I would suggest getting Mom and Dad to go out or maybe using your allowance this spring for a commercial package like MGI Video Wave 3, which is just excellent. $90.
You can have so much.
Oh,
well, wait a second.
Pardonnez-moi.
Yeah.
Scott, just use Premiere. It'll give you any codec you want.
Any codec that exists you can get with Premiere. Oh. You're all good, Scott.
Excusez-moi.
Look,
Mom and Dad already went out. That's great. Premiere's a great product.
So you're good. He got the student software discount version. Didn't you, Scott?
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Scott. Oh, no. Stop it.
How much did that cost you? Like $600?
Huh. We don't want to know.
We don't want to know.
It's none of our business.
Hey, Scott, though, you're going to be a budding video editor, right?
Yep.
Is this your plan in life, the next Steven Spielberg?
Maybe.
That means you have to take pictures of the blender, take movies of the blender open, spraying tomatoes all over the wall. That was Steven Spielberg's first film, I believe.
I love that
he made at home on his little high-8 camera for his mom.
Scott, we expect to see great things from you. Please enter the Cannes Film Festival.
Send them to us.
Okay.
And would you do us a favor?
Yep.
Take us to break.
Okay.
To break.
Thanks, Kate and Leo. Our favorite Fresh Gear friend, Sumi Das, gives us a tour inside the new Intel web appliance when the Screensavers continues.
All right, now you can take the phone off your ear and give us a big cheesy grin.
Cheesy grin time.
Cheesy grin time. Screensavers.com, best place for more information about what's on the show. Make sure that you take the Super Geek Challenge this week, by the way, which we're not showing you right now, but you know what it looks like. It's all about how the web works, the inner workings of the WWW. Check it out. Should be fun. Find out if you, yes you, are a super geek at thescreensavers.com.
Congratulations to Mike from Lake North, Florida, winner of yesterday's Super Geek Quiz T-shirt.
Yay!
Giveaway. Erica Hill is now on the line with us to talk about yet another denial of service attack. Erica, what's the story?
What's up?
Hi, Kate. Hi, Leo. Well, it's not confirmed yet, but it appears Amazon.com may be the latest website to be attacked. Keynote Systems, which is an internet tracking firm, reports it's been very difficult to log on to Amazon.com. We've been trying here in the newsroom. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, I couldn't get in either.
Yeah. The cyber clues are actually very similar to those that have been left behind after the attacks on Yahoo yesterday and on Buy.com and eBay today. Keynote Systems said today at 5:15 p.m. Pacific that it was only able to access Amazon about 1.5% of the time.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but let me ask you anyway. We said earlier that Yahoo shared some internet connections capabilities with Buy.com. Is that also true of eBay and Amazon.com?
I'm not sure. The other thing that's tough, Leo, we did say earlier that both Yahoo and Buy.com do some of their hosting with Exodus Communications.
Right.
Now, the problem that hit Buy.com apparently was with one of their servers at Exodus, but the problem that hit Yahoo yesterday was reportedly with Global Center.
Okay. So it's not like one service is being hit.
No, it doesn't look like it. But we will have more coming up. We actually have a new special coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific.
All right, we'll be watching that. And thank you, Erica Hill, in the newsroom.
Thanks.
Wow. eBay, Amazon, Buy.com, and Yahoo. If you had to pick four of the biggest, most popular, most used sites on the Internet, that would be them.
I wonder who would be next then. That makes us wonder.
It's a little scary, and I think this just kind of confirms what we were suspecting earlier, that it's one group that is sending a message.
Being sent out.
Yeah,
well, folks, we got it. We got it, okay?
We'll follow this story, of course, and as Erica mentioned, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, we're going to have a special news broadcast covering the story.
Make sure you stay tuned. Now, as promised, here's Sumi Das with a review of Intel's new Linux-based web appliance on today's Fresh Gear.
The dictionary defines appliance as a piece of household equipment operated by gas or electricity. In the past few months, we've seen a couple of Internet appliances, a fitting name if you think about the growing role of the World Wide Web in our daily lives. As frequently as people use their microwaves and dishwashers, they're also using the net to do everything from buying and selling stocks to ordering groceries. Recently, a company best known for manufacturing chips, Intel, also hopped on the appliance bandwagon. The Intel Web Appliance made its debut in early January. While Intel plans to develop the web appliance and its server software, they'll be sold to consumers through telecommunications companies and internet service providers. Similar to PCs, the web appliance features a keyboard, DVD drive, USB ports, and a Celeron processor. But consumers may be surprised to learn that based on a desire to have an open-source operating system, Intel decided to use Linux in their web appliances. users can switch between 3 main areas: browsing the web, of course, personal pages, which each member of the family can set up with their own preferences, such as a stock ticker or MP3 player, and what Intel has termed the refrigerator door, a communication space where family members can leave virtual post-its for each other. As you look at the screen, you might notice the fixed sidebars at the bottom and to the left. Buttons on the bottom bar allow you to quickly switch to different applications, including email, an address book, calendar, and notepad. Buttons on the left allow you to switch to your password-protected personal page. Users can also access integrated telephone features from this sidebar, which means they can not only answer and place calls, they can also use caller ID or send a call to voicemail, among other functions. Intel has included another clever feature in their web appliance. Lights at the top right corner of the monitor tell users when they have new email messages, so you don't have to go through the sometimes tedious process of logging on to find out if you've got mail. So while some may shrug off Internet appliances as underpowered in comparison to a PC, for many, this could be the perfect solution to having the best of both worlds: email, Internet access, and basic organizational features without the extraneous software applications that you may never need or want.
You and you and you, but not you. Got your new fresh gear every Friday afternoon at 1:30, 12:30 Central right here. You know where that is, don't you? ZDTV.
We were so glad to get this next email because it gave us a chance to bring in some toys. Jeff sent us an email saying, I'm interested in purchasing an HD TV tuner card for my system. I got a couple of questions. Will they work with my SVGA monitor? Will I need to buy a new display adapter card? What's the story? HD TV, your PC. We've got it. We're going to show you when the screensavers continue.
Folks, welcome back to the Screensavers. Take a peek up there on your screen. You see it's pretty even, 31, 39, and 30%. Those of you talking about your fingertips being faster than your brain, wonder how quickly you clicked yes on that puppy or send. Let us know, screensavers.com.
This is the part of the show we like to share some of the emails we received. By the way, we've just heard that CNN's website has now been attacked with a denial of service attack. So, it's a little scary out there.
All the big websites. Guys, stop it. We get it already. Okay.
We will, again, as I mentioned, at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern time, do a half-hour news special on this with all the latest.
Wow.
Here's an email from Brad who says, I just purchased the IBM T55D LCD monitor. I'm so jealous. That's the monitor I want. What video cards support these digital flat panel monitors?
Some of them have their own included digital.
AGP or PCI card better? I'll tell you the card I'd recommend is the Guillemot GeForce 256 DDR. It has a DVI interface, which I'm pretty sure will work with the T55D.
Okay. So it'll give you a direct digital output.
It's digital to digital. There's no A to D conversion on either side, and you get the best, crispest picture ever.
That's important.
There are a number of cards now coming out with that. I believe Matrox does a version of the G400 with an LCD output. A lot of people... in fact, that monitor can be bought with or without a card, and I believe it I'm trying to remember what card it came with. It wasn't the greatest card. I'd say get an accelerated card like the GeForce. You spend a lot of money on the monitor. Get a card that's going to do it justice.
All right, I'd go for that.
Check, though, to make sure DVI is supported on the 55. It's an older digital monitor, and DVI is the new standard. So you want to make sure it supports DVI.
Okay, check that out. Kevin in Kearney, New Jersey, was thinking about buying the new 3D Blaster Annihilator that we've got, and it says it needs AGP2, but you have AGP 1.0 slot. Will that make a big difference, if any? That shouldn't be up to the AGP. That's 2X. Is that what you're talking about?
No, he's talking about the definition of AGP.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it may not work. You should check the website of your motherboard manufacturer, see if they've published a firmware update.
Yeah, it should be able to meet the current
That may not.
standard.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh, that's weird.
We'll find out. That's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Kate Patello. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on Screensavers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Remember, believe in technology, but stay away. We got an email from Jeffrey. He said, I'm interested in purchasing an HDTV tuner card. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
For my system, and have a couple of questions. Will they work with my SVGA monitor, and will I need to buy a new display adapter card? Now, we've talked about tuner cards before that bring in regular television signals.
Right, but we're talking now.
The new thing.
High definition television signals. Now,
oh, I thought it was horse-drawn television signals.
Click, clap, click, clap. No, it's not. All right, now let's talk about something. For one thing, it's the delight of viewers everywhere, right? You all want high definition television.
Oh, yeah, baby.
But let me tell you a little secret for TV hosts everywhere. We don't want you to have HDTV. Every blemish, every pore on our faces is going to
And we've got an HDTV signal here. When you go to the trade shows and you see HDTV playing, it's not close-ups of people. It's fish, it's
flowers.
Grass, it's flowers.
It's pretty things.
They never have a big person's face on there. You know why? Ugh.
We look bad. You know that thick makeup you wear for soap operas and so forth? Not going to be enough Vaseline on the lens to fix that ever again. Now, what is HDTV? Now, it's a subset. Can we explain that? Of the ATSC, the American Television Standards Committee for Digital Television. It's its own spectrum, entirely separate from the standard TV signal that's being sent out by your broadcast station.
Right.
Okay. Now, this gives you, of course, higher definition, a huge, huge difference in definition, 1920 by an average of 1200.
Okay.
Yes?
1920 cross 1200
on a 16:9 aspect ratio.
This is the aspect ratio.
Right.
So it's a wide screen.
Now, the first thing you asked, what about my SVGA monitor? Your average SVGA monitor should not be able to show that high of a resolution at that aspect ratio just all by itself. You have to actually have something like this, a wide aspect ratio, in order to get it to look like ours does. But
well, it's not strictly true. Actually,
more.
there's different specifications for HDTV.
Yes.
There's another one. You just talked about 1080i. There's another one called 720p, which is a 1280 by 720.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if your monitor could do 1280, you could probably do it. It would be letterboxed.
Yep.
It would be progressive, which means it'd be nice and crisp and clear.
Redrawn all the time as opposed to interlaced,
Right.
which is opposite lines to your television
So in
works.
fact, most modern monitors can display HDTV, not the big 1900 or 1920 by 1200, but you'll be able to get HDTV, and it'll still look very, very good.
It'll look great.
So
it'll look better.
you got one part of it, which is the output device.
Right.
Chances are. Now, of course, we have two output devices here, which are specifically for HDTV. We've shown this before. This actually, it's ironic. These are our two UGM displays.
Yes,
this is the widescreen Sony Multiscan W900, which is a 16:9 aspect ratio, designed again for an HDTV signal. This is running on a computer, so you can see it looks pretty good. In fact, what's neat is we're getting an HDTV signal inset here like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go over to the big monitor over here, which is both a television and a monitor. And this is what, if you're watching in the home, you're more likely to be watching on, is a widescreen TV like this Sony Plasmatron.
Now, if you're asking for a card that you can use right now, well, right now, you can get, this is a Hapag card. This is called WinTVD. This is using the Janus chipset. Now, this is very interesting. This particular card, now this will run you about $300, will enable you to get the HDTV signal, but it will actually degrade or attenuate the signal down to that 704 by 480 we were talking about.
This is digital, but it's not high definition.
Right. It will actually take this high-definition signal and kind of squish it down so that it'll fit on your standard card, your standard monitor.
You can get that today. But we are going to see HDTV cards.
Yes, we will. Now, this is going to give you, excuse me, it's got Velcro that's sticking to me. Now, what was I going to say? Yes, you will be seeing the higher levels soon. These are good for now. If you want to get clearer pictures, you will get them this way. But it's what I'm thinking of as a basic interim technology, waiting for the big guns, which is this guy right here.
Same company, Janus, doing the chipset. There are other companies doing the chipsets. Hapag, which makes the WinTVD, is going to make WinTV HD.
HD.
They expect it'll be about $300. Panasonic is also making one. Creative Labs is making one. There are a number of companies. I think every company, probably ATI will do it too, that makes a tuner card will probably do an HD tuner card.
It should be a sub-$500 card, obviously, because this is the OEM version that we got straight
just a sample
from Janus.
We thank Janus, by the way, for bringing us all. Now, look what's neat about this is it's dual head. So what they're doing here is that this will go, you see it has a feature adapter. It'll go, you'll still have your regular video card. It's like adding a tuner card. This will connect to your video card. Because it's connected through the feature adapter to your video card, you can do this, which is have an HDTV broadcast in your monitor while you're doing Microsoft Word and Excel. And this is an HDTV signal inside the monitor, which is really cool. And the same card that's powering this off of this computer is powering the television at the same time because it's dual head, so you can get both. By the way, this signal we were watching is not a broadcast signal. By the way, that's the third part. We're going to get to where do you get your HDTV. This is an RF signal, but it's being pumped in through another source. But this is radio frequency. And so this is what it would look like if you had a broadcast. Now, let's talk about how you get HDTV.
How do you get HDTV? You have to have actually a big set of rabbit ears that'll pick it up at all.
I actually think we do. In many metropolitan areas now, the television channels are actually broadcasting HDTV. Here in the San Francisco Bay Area, we have, I think, 3 different channels doing HDTV, including the PBS station. In many metropolitan areas, that's true. What are you going to see? Well, most time, you're going to see something that was captured with standard NTSC cameras, then pumped, upsampled, and pumped out as HDTV.
That's not quite the same
Well, it's not the same. There are some major sporting events, the NHL All-Star Game, the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, every night Jay Leno is done in HDTV.
Do you really want to see? Oh, I don't.
And Chicago Hope's done in HDTV. So you can't get it via satellite. You can't get it via cable. Your DVD player can't do it yet. They will be able to. Right now, you got to get it through the airwaves. You have to live close enough to a broadcast channel that's doing HDTV to get it. You could play it off your hard drive, but what's the point? What's the point of that? So, and again, there's very few HDTV programs that you'd really get the benefit of HDTV.
So for right now, you can get something that'll work, albeit not perfectly.
That's the digital TV.
The digital TV.
And in a couple of months, expect to see these $300 to $500. I think what's neat about this is, instead of people going out and buying a new television with a new HDTV decoder for thousands of dollars, they can use their PC, a card like this. If they live in an area where there's an HDTV broadcast signal, even their standard monitor will be able to give them an HDTV output, and they'll get to see this kind of quality. And if you have a monitor like this, you'll get to see it in the proper 16:9 aspect ratio. I think that's very exciting. That's a very affordable way to get HDTV. This stuff is a long way off. Consumers are not throwing out their television sets.
No, not yet.
But the fact that the signal's out there and you might be able to watch it, I think is pretty good. I'm excited about it. So look for ones from Creative Labs, Hopog, and other companies in the next couple of months, but not yet.
But not yet. Almost. You can still get one, just not this one.
Stephen's on the phone from Pee Wee Valley, Kentucky.
Hi,
Stephen.
Hi.
Is that a big valley in Kentucky?
Yeah, it's kind of small.
What can we do for you?
I'm sorry.
I love the name, Pee Wee Valley.
So what can we do for you?
Yeah, I recently won a copy of Windows 2000 from Microsoft.
You're kidding. How'd you win it?
I went to tweak3d.com.
And they had a giveaway?
Yes, they were having a giveaway that they was advertised from Microsoft's
cool.
website.
Now, you haven't received it yet.
No.
Because it comes out February 17th, so it's another 9 days off.
But I get a pre-copy ahead in advance.
Awesome.
Oh, you lucky duck.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what's your problem?
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering if you would think if I should keep it or wait for Windows Millennium and sell it to a friend and use the money to upgrade my machine for better hardware.
First of all, it's going to cost $219 for the upgrade version, so you're not going to get a whole lot of money from your friend.
I thought it was $319.
$219 for the upgrade.
Oh, right. I mean the full version.
Right, I understand, but your friend could go to the store and buy it for $219, right?
Right.
Besides the fact that by the time that Windows Millennium comes out, the Windows 2000, resale value is going to be less.
Well, he'd sell it now,
He'd sell it now? Don't do that.
I would do
it while you've got it. Or you'd sell it.
No, I keep it. I do what you say.
Oh, okay.
Windows Millennium is maybe going to come out this year.
Maybe.
I think, they just came out with Beta 2. I think they're probably at least a year off, okay? So, and Millennium is just 98 with some fancy stuff.
Right.
The thing is about 2000 is it's NT. It's rock solid, doesn't crash, and because they've put a lot of the usability features of 98, like USB, plug-and-play, DirectX, it's a really good solution for a lot of people. What kind of computer do you have?
I'm running a Celeron 366 overclocked to 550.
Perfect.
Got 64 megabytes, but I'm working my way to upgrading to 128.
Up that to 128 for Windows 2K. Do that.
I'm running a IBM hard drive.
That's all I need to know. You're in great shape. I would recommend minimum. It does require, a heavy-duty processor. I'd recommend minimum Pentium 2 300. You got that. I'd recommend 128 megs. You're going there. It'll run in 64, but it just runs faster in 128. It runs with pretty much any hardware, or not. I shouldn't say that, but most of the hardware Windows 98 runs with. It doesn't run with some of the consumer devices like USB cameras and stuff like that. But that's just because it's not out yet. I think the minute Windows 2000 ships and these companies see a lot of people buying it, you can bet they're going to have Windows 2000 drivers for every bit of hardware paragraphs there.
So you think they'll tweak it a little bit for consumers?
It's not Microsoft that's going to tweak it. It's these companies are going to say all of a sudden, they're saying right now, I'm a USB net cam. I don't support NT. That's not for NT. It's for consumers. All of a sudden, 1 million consumers go out and buy Windows 2000, which I predict they're gonna. You better believe the USB camera companies are going to make drivers for it. That's not hard for them to do.
But part of his question, I think, is very interesting. How are they going to feel when they went out and bought Windows 2000? They did the whole shebang, and all of a sudden now they've got Windows ME that comes out.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I have a feeling that more consumers than Microsoft thinks are going to go to 2000. But we'll see.
Well, we'll find out.
We'll be covering this a lot in the next couple of weeks, I promise you.
Okay. Hey, Leo, you know what?
What?
I like sunshine, I like rainbows, and I even like snow. But what I like most? Emails, dude.
Oh.
Emails. Record me a video email, please. Send it to us. Instructions or scripts. The whole thing. It's just laid out on red carpet for you at thescreensavers.com. Don't let me guilt you into doing it or anything, but come on, please. Click on Interact. In fact, here's something very, very dear from Charles. Take a look.
Evil?
No.
The other Charles?
The other Charles.
Okay.
Screensavers will be right back.